From the shadows of the underground, where every riff tells a story, and every note leaves a scar.
Legends and lore, breaking down classics and so much more. Metal, goth, punk, and everything between, exploring the music that shaped the scene. Maniacal music, musers. Maniacal music, musers. Where darkness meets distortion.
You're listening to Maniacal.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jeremy, back out of the shadows in this house of fuckery we call home. This show is my hustle, and I run it like a baller. Or try at least. I work on it so much that I'm fucking sleep deprived, but I guess this is how I disappear, doing what I love. My co-host, though. He is the pilgrim of the show, running away from his mama. He loves to take his money and spend it on his summertime treat, a stripper named Tasty Nasty. She strips for the greater good of God, though, so it's all good. She makes him shine brighter than 1,000 suns while he waits for the reincarnation of Benjamin Brigg, which is what he calls his cock. CJ motherfucking playing the music god himself.
Hey, yo.
Come on, CJ.
I
No
am
laugh
here.
on
I am
that one.
alive.
I just gave your cock a new name, for God's sake. But,
Well, just so everybody
welcome,
knows
everybody.
before we get into I'll save it for later. Go ahead. I'll save it for when I'm talking about the
welcome back. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. We are happy to have you back again. And we have a guest that I've been looking forward to for a week and a half now. Matt just canceled the original recording time because of me, but all you listeners won't even know that happened, so why am I talking about it? But welcome, folks, to the show. Jake Maxwell, simply put, musician, because he's done so much different shit with his career that I can't even begin to fathom and sit here reading off the list. So, welcome, Jake. I'll let you talk about that all in a minute, but welcome.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I know we were kind of playing like scheduling tag for a little bit. And I apologize about that, but I am like super stoked. I've really been looking forward to this.
I'm glad to hear it. We've been looking forward to having you, that's for damn sure. So, tell us, what got you into a career in music, and what the fuck is Drunken Logic, because I am truly curious.
So, first off, my dad was a DJ at Studio 54.
Besides, my mind works on a daily basis, but you know.
So let's start there. My dad DJ'd at
shit.
Studio 54 during like the time, right? Like, and has always told me that movie that they made that I watched when I was old enough apparently doesn't come close to some of the shit that he saw. So music has always kind of been something I was drawn to. I'm also autistic, and so when I was nonverbal, music was a way I was able to describe and things, how I was feeling, how I wanted people to know what I was feeling. And so maybe if I couldn't always find the words, there was always a song that I could play for someone that could express what I was going to. And so after like graduating, right, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And my dad said that the only way I was going to be able to own electronic DJ equipment is if I learned how to play on vinyl first, like a real DJ. So he made me sit there and learn how to count BPM and like go through vinyl crates and carry all that stuff up and down stairs. And I'm like, you know, thanks, Dad. This is super helpful. But lo and behold, like once I got to electronic equipment, I'm like, oh, wait, he might be onto something here. This guy might be onto something. And so, yeah, for me, music's a universal language, right? Everybody understands it, and that's what drew me to it, I guess.
Oh shit! But I saw you in a project called Drunken Logic though. I didn't get a chance to look it up, so I'm dying to hear what that is.
Yeah. So it's a side project. I haven't really had a chance to like flush it out as much as I want, but so because I'm ADHD and autistic, I've told my friends I'm not allowed to have my computer at 3 a.m. because that's how you get remixes of things like the JG Wentworth commercial, for example, that unfortunately I made and turned out to be very good. And I don't know how to express the level of pure hatred for yourself, but also sheer insanity when you play that in a nightclub and people go wild to it and you're just like, all right, this is, I guess, where we are. It's like a level of self-loathing. And so that is what we've started calling all those mixes and projects that we make on the side now is basically anything that you would have to be completely and totally wasted to come up with that no sane person could come up with. That's where you land. In addition to that, we're starting a new band. So that's like our other thing. I have been learning drums like throughout my career of playing various music. And so yeah, it's fun. But the easiest way I can explain it is it's anything that me or my friends or our music collective makes that should never see the light of day, but somehow does.
You know, I could see that in a
So
club though.
pretty much anything I record.
I wouldn't say that, CJ. Your album got massive positive reviews from people we know, and from what I've heard from other people as well that we don't know. So, but I can say I can definitely hear that in a club. J.G. Wentworth,
Right.
get your cash now. Like dude, that song always rocked in the fucking 2000s when it was on TV. Like I fucking love that commercial. But
Yeah, it was for years. I'm talking like years, guys. My parents were like, "You got to make a remix of it. You got to make a remix of it." I was like, "No, no." And then again, like one night at 3 a.m., I made like just the first verse of it, and I'm like, "Fuck, it's good. I have to finish it." And I said, "This is all y'all's fault." And of course, the entire song came out to be like relatively good, and it's like it was just this every time someone plays it because I have DJ friends now that aren't me that play it, and I'm like, I hate that I made this thing so much. But yeah, it goes off.
I'd be reaching out to J.G. Wentworth and being like, "Here you go. Give me my cash. Give me my cash, please. There you go. That's your new song." But that's me. That's me. So, and I did going to add, I did see a headbanging like crazy to that fucking intro music that was made by our own CJ Plain. So, that's a little taste of what he can do.
I like it. Like we'll get into the album I picked eventually here, but like for me, like it was a really tough choice between other things I wanted to pick. Like Sabaton resonates with me, right? Like very, very weirdly. Like a lot of people look at me and they see the LGBTQ kid and they think, "Why do you like any of this stuff?" And I'm like, because music is not singularly anything, right? And so for me, I found myself going through all these albums like as a musician. I'm like, how the heck do I pick this one? But yes, I loved your intro music. It was phenomenal.
CJ made that for us about a month or two ago, and it's fucking every time I see it, I get goosebumps. I fucking love it. But
It's great.
yes, we will get to the album you chose. What album did you want to bring tonight, and why did you want to bring this one?
All right, so we talked a little bit about on the pre-interview here, but bear with me. So I ended up settling on the Black Parade album by My Chemical Romance, and so I want to say it came out like in 2006, right? So I was born in '93, so high school, middle school age for me. Obviously, a lot of people will tell you it's one of the most influential emo music like recordings of the time, but it has very significant resonance for me. I have a chronic illness. And this entire album is literally a concept album about someone who is dying from a chronic illness. So as someone who has been in the hospital fighting every day of their life, essentially, with a chronic illness that will eventually kill them, when the album came out, even before it was popular, I was already a fan of MCR. And I get emotional talking about it, so bear with me. I immediately was drawn to it because I saw myself in that album more than any other album I had ever heard up and into that point. And even to this day, right? Like they're touring right now, and I've seen them 3 times on this tour. And every time they play certain songs, I remember some of those nights when I was in the hospital. And like that's what I was listening to. And it's weird and it's macabre to think about it that way. But, I'm also from the Jersey area, right? And so My Chemical Romance is from that area, and there were ties there, and 9/11, and all these things come together. So yeah, that album for me, if you say, what's an album that you can always go back to when you're like, this has significant meaning to me, that's why. It's because yes, it's not their most, I guess, all time greatest album, although I would argue for me it is. And obviously some of the songs they're more known for actually came before that. I'm Not Okay. But for me, from open to close, concept album wise, I see myself in that album as that character all the way through.
Well, I'll go first this week. Actually, I'll give CJ a break and I'll go first this week. Usually I make him go first, but I as soon as you gave this album, I was just like, ah, fuck. I'm like, these are one of the bands that used to make fun of people in high school listen to this shit. Because 2006 was my senior year of high school and college. So senior high school and college, I used to make fun of people that listen to My Chemical Romance. Yeah, for confessional, I dated a girl who was obsessed with them, made me go to a concert. I fucking can't stand them. She was a gold digger, so I had no loss there. But Panic at the Disco, I hate all these fucking bands of this era. I hated them. Made fun of all the emo fucks. I'm like, you're wannabe goths. Get the fuck out of here. But because I was a self-proclaimed goth at that point, probably never even really was one, but whatever. We'll get to that when we get to my albums, because there's an album I wanted to bring, but somebody wouldn't let me. And but yeah, I mean, I never listened to My Chemical Romance. I don't think I ever have. But when you said "Welcome to the Black Parade," I'm like, shit. I'm like, I heard Kevin Smith talk about this album in a podcast, because I think he used it. He used "Welcome to the actual "Welcome to the Black Parade" song as the opener to one of his movies. I want to say Clerks 3. His daughter Clerks 3. Okay, I thought so. I haven't seen it yet. I slapped myself over the day for not seeing it yet. I haven't seen that one yet. But I know what happens for the most part, but I haven't seen it yet. But
What movie?
it's Clerks 3.
Oh, but dude,
Nah, we're not going down that road. We're not going down that road. I know the storyline's fucked. I know the storyline's fucked. But
I'm gonna say I love Kevin Smith, but fuck him for Clerks 3. Okay, that stopped.
I know the whole Dante death thing and all being blah blah blah. We're not getting into it. But I heard he talked about this album when he was putting that movie out, because his daughter Harley Quinn got him into My Chemical Romance. She got him into a lot of shit, including being a vegan, which changed his personality completely. But we won't go down that road either. But so I was willing to give this album a chance 100% because of that. Because I'm like, all right, if Kevin Smith can get into something, why can't I? And I'm not gonna say I hated this album. I definitely didn't. I actually kind of liked it to a degree, but it was just not my type of music by any. I mean, Sabaton. Fuck! If you brought Sabaton, I would have been in heaven. But My Chemical Romance, not my genre of music, 100%. I listen to a lot more bands nowadays that sound like them than I ever would have back in those days. But because I mean, I listen to so much music nowadays, it's ridiculous. So many new bands I get into that. And even the one I mentioned before before the show started, Nailbite, they even have some inklings of My Chemical Romance in their music. So I can kind of out of that style at least. But so I can kind of get behind this album somewhat. I honestly, when we get to top fives, I had 4 songs I really got into. But I also think I didn't get to listen to any of the albums from tonight with headphones on like I usually do. So I may have missed a thing or two. It was all in the car. Long story short, I've been working remote for the last 2 weeks because my wife had an accident, and I've been working remote for the last 2 weeks. So it was all in the car while I listened to this album. But I thought we were doing this last Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the album. I definitely enjoyed it to a degree. If I knew the fact that it was about a terminal illness, a concept album, it might have stuck with me a little bit more. And it might have. I maybe should have re-listened to it today, but I have another ranking I'm working on for tomorrow. So didn't have a chance for that. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole thing. It's not as horrible as 2006 me would have fucking thought. Because back then, I would have had to been tied to a chair to fucking have to listen to this album back then. That's just the way I was in 2006. But now I can respect what they do, and there are definitely some songs in there I fucking loved. So
I will say this.
You changed my mind on some shit, dude. You changed my mind on some shit. And I mean,
So a lot of people, though, Jeremy, didn't realize it was a concept album at the time, for the record. Like, it doesn't, if you just listen to it from start to finish, it does not necessarily play like a concept album if you are not listening to it in that way. And that's kind of what makes it unique, is the fact that I heard it immediately and was like, hang on a minute. And I actually bought it. I went back and re-listened to it because I'm like, this is a concept album. And all my friends told me I was nuts. And I'm like, no, this is a concept album. So yeah, I will say this. The opening keys of Black Parade are what made emo music today into the mainstream genre that it is. Yeah. If you play that opening piano riff, everybody recognizes it.
Oh, 100%. My brother was huge into this music when I was in high school, so I'd hear a lot of this shit. And what the hell was that band? He was the biggest fan of Taking Back Sunday. I can't fucking stand that. I can't stand that band. I can't. But he was the biggest fan. Him and my cousin were the biggest fans of Taking Back Sunday, and I'm like, I can't stand this fucking emo. Keep my language, but gay ass shit. I can't stand it. Like that's what in 2006. That's what I would have called it. A lot worse names than that, probably. I wouldn't say in the show. But it's just in my time, it's just not music you listen to. But TJ, what do you think of this album?
So I kind of became a fan of this band by accident. The same friend who got me into Blue October. Huge fan of this band. And I had heard a couple of the songs, I think, off of Sweet Revenge. I think I'd heard This Town Isn't Big Enough, something like that. Or no, it might have been from the first one. I don't know. But anyways, I'd heard a couple of songs and wasn't someone I listened to. And then we took a road trip. And Laura put this on, and I was immediately struck by, while it was emo-ish, per se, this really was a Queen record. This was, bombastic and grandiose, and it was a record that Freddie Mercury would have sang and performed. And I know people are going to say, oh, that's, yeah, blah, blah, but I'm telling you right now, solo Freddie would have performed or sang this fucking record, okay? Freddie would have been a fan of this record. And that made me love the record because there's so many moments on this record that remind me not really of the emo stuff, but just what Queen did, what bands, like what Jim Steinman wrote a lot of the Meatloaf type of stuff and a lot of the stuff for Bonnie Tyler. It was almost Broadway in a way. So it definitely, you could tell it was a concept record because it had that sort of, style of a concept record. So I've always been a huge fan of this record because, I love big bombastic music, obviously. So,
now that you say that, TJ, I kind of can picture that. I kind of can picture like Freddie Mercury doing this type of album.
Yeah.
Like it kind of, like as soon as you said that, like the wheels just spun and clicked in my head, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
holy fuck, he's not wrong. Like it easily could have been in. Folks, for more on Meatloaf and musicals, come back in a couple weeks, okay? But yeah. But I just did that homework on Tuesday, for God's sake. But yeah,
that's Tuesday's show, isn't it?
Thursdays next week. We have a
Oh,
would double header. We would double header next week.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be. I'm sorry, we're Thursday.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be Tuesday show.
Yeah, we would double header next week if I can actually get a hold of our Tuesday guests. Working on that. I already used like two social medias to try to get a hold of them. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, what would be your top 5 songs off this, Jake?
All right. So before I do that, just want to loop back around on something that CJ has said that I think is important to actually bring up. So the inspiration in part for the album was Queen and Pink Floyd, believe it or not.
Right.
So, and if you don't know exactly how this album came to be, if you guys will allow me just like a brief moment for some history. This was actually intended. Yeah, so this album was actually intended to be MCR's like last album. It was written as intended to be like the last record they were going to record, and a couple of the songs on the album actually in the process of being written damn near caused the band to break apart. One of them actually was written at a haunted house, and I think it's Sleep actually, quite frankly, was written from Gerard's nightmare. And so when they set out to do this album, they wanted to, almost like CJ said, become bigger than just this emo band that screams about how awful everything is. And that kind of split their fan base. It really did. In the moment, there's actually several like critic reviews that gave this album a 1 star, said it was the worst emo album ever made. And imagine having to be that guy today, right? Like, I mean, you know, they like that's a swing and a miss. So, and not to, give too much away, but there's a lot of crossover with the albums you guys sent me, which I loved. And so what I will say is this, if picking 5 songs off of this album has always been difficult for me, right? Because for me, is it my 5 favorite songs, or is it the 5 songs that I think are most influential? And so I'll run them down and in no particular order, but obviously Welcome to the Black Parade has to be on your list. I mean, the opening note to that alone single-handedly, doesn't matter where you are, you play it, people recognize, okay, they may not know the song, they may not know the band, but they know what it is. And for that reason, that has to be on your list. I also think that the vocals on that in particular were very Queen-esque. It was structurally closer to anything that any emo band that was playing Warped Tour did, like Queen and genre, than anyone at that time.
It kind of reminds me of March of Black Queen.
Right. And so they gave, with Black Parade, they essentially gave a runway for all these other bands that had been brought up to then also be able to step out of the genre that they had kind of pigeonholed themselves into. For that reason, Black Parade obviously, has to be on there. The next 4 is where things sometimes get weird for me. And I don't know if we discuss after each song, but I'll just run the list. Mama, for me, is special because a lot of people don't realize that the woman screaming on that is actually Liza Minnelli. Like, Liza Minnelli is the female vocalist in that song. And for me, that's always been a fun little, side tidbit that, people are like, wait, that Liza Minnelli? Yes, that Liza Minnelli. Like, MCR got her to do screaming vocals on Mama.
Is there another Liza Minnelli?
People in my sphere couldn't wrap their head around why that would be why she would be on the album. And I had to be like, why not? Like, why not? Exactly. And so that's on to me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and to answer your question, Jeremy, yes. In the queer community, there are thousands of Liza Minnellis.
Not fucking drag queens, dude. The real Liza Minnelli. But
well, tell them they're not Liza Minnelli, okay?
Me with a few drinks probably would, and it wouldn't end well. But anyway, go on.
So then, I always like Famous Last Words. It's the closer on the actual album. It kind of puts together the thesis. The line to me, I'm not afraid to keep on living as someone with a chronic illness, like that obviously resonates with me in terms of mantras. It's there's actually a secret track like on the album that I also like, but we won't go into that. And so I think that the ending with that was a particularly strong choice. Fun fact about it, it actually wasn't originally called Famous Last Word. It was originally titled The Saddest Music in the World. And it was written about Mikey like being done. And like this was how the album was gonna end. This is how the band was gonna end, but it became a lot more. 4 and 5 is where I get a lot of flack from a lot of people. I happen to like Cancer, the song. I think it's a very powerful song. I think that because of the life that I've lived and the hospital stints that I've done and the amount of times I've been told I shouldn't still be alive, like, and also having lost many people to cancer, this song's always hard to get through. But it to me, when I talk about an album and a song that maybe doesn't always have to make me feel happy, that I resonate with, that's it. Like that's on there. And then Teenagers. I mean, it's the one song on the album that doesn't actually fit the concept album, but for me, it's like an angsty teenager. I was screaming this thing all the way up and down every place I could go. And so, it's always been hard for me to narrow it down to 5, but like, if I had to, those are them. The whole album to me is good, but those would be the 5 I would pick as like just going through what I have gone through.
That's why we do it on this show. It's always the hardest thing ever to have the person pick 5 songs off the album they love to really like signify it. But like I said, I had 4 for this album that I really got into. If I listen to it again with headphones, I might be into more honesty. But the first one was "This Is How I Disappear." I fucking love that song. That song, I kind of, being the person I am through high school and college, I kind of like that song. Really stuck to me. "Sleep" was another one. I fucking love "Sleep." That's a great song. My number 2 had to be "Welcome to the Black Parade." That's the one song I knew off this, because who doesn't know that song? And like you said, it's one of the most memorizing songs of all time for this genre at least. So yeah, I've heard it before. And "Mama" was my number 1. I fucking loved "Mama." And the fact that you say it's Liza Minnelli fucking just makes me like even more kind of love Liza Minnelli. So 100%. This is the first time My Chemical Romance got brought in the show, obviously. So I'm not hating it. People can bring on other albums they've done. I'm not going to complain about it. I would listen to them. So there we go. 20 years ago, me would probably be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you right now?" But mature me recognizes what shit is beyond just stereotypes. So I'm fucking down for it. But CJ, what were your top songs for this if you had any?
Number 5 for me is "The End." I love that song. "Famous Last Words" is number 4. "Welcome to the Black Parade" is number 3. "Mama" is number 2. But like Jake said, if you listen to this record and "Teenagers" is not your favorite song, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because, dude, that song is just,
you have to take it for what it is.
Yeah, like, the way he sings it. Teenager scared of the
living shit out of me.
It's so propulsive, man. Like, it's just, it's one of those songs, and when you hear it, you got to crank that fucker up if you're in the car.
I was never an angsty teenager, even when I was a teenager. So teenagers never scared me. They were always just punks, which I get. So I don't know. To me, that it didn't sync with me. It really just didn't sync with me. I can't explain it. But
so you kind of got to look at the placement. Like I think that if "Teenagers" had been placed differently in the album, by the way, it would not have gone over as well. But putting it right between "Sleep" and "Disenchanted" for the record, and it being the one song that does not actually play to the concept story at all, it is a needed, very much so needed, musically composition-wise reprieve. And they are aware of it, because they are just out here glam stomping away about how awful like teenagers scare them and they bug them and they're always coming up and asking for pictures. And then you're right back into "Disenchanted." right back in the story. And for that reason, you kind of have to take it for what it is, which is it's a catchy song, you know?
Uh, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a bad song. It just honestly, it should be my number five. It should be my number five. Of anything. Like I said, if I listened to this, I was also typing all this while I'm driving. I was going to my place of work that day to get equipment to work remote for 2 weeks, and I had my son and my daughter in my car. So I was listening to this song, this album, while that my daughter was sleeping in the car seat. So I'm like, I can't blast it at all. So I'm like, gosh, yeah. So I mean, I honestly should have listened to this over during the last week, but I just didn't have the time. Work been crazy, and the quarter and all that shit. But folks, I guess it's time to get into the album I wanted to bring this week. See, you brought out in 2006. I'm like, oh fuck, the end of my senior year of high school, beginning of my first year of college. I'm like, that was a huge year for me musically. It really was. I was changing my musical taste. Basically, 2005, 2006, I changed my musical taste 150%. Went from listening to fucking pop rap and boy band shit to listening to like. I had a friend when I was in 11th grade that gave me two albums. He gave me Cradle of Filth, Lovecraft and Witch Hearts, a 2 disc set, which is they're both great hits albums, but it was the greatest hits of Cradle of Filth up to that point. And he gave me King Edward the Great by Iron Maiden, and I burned both of them to my computer at that point because that's what we did back then. And I fell in love with both these bands immensely. They became two of my favorite bands of all time. And so when you brought 2006, I was like, shit. I'm looking through the list of albums that came out that year. And I'm like, God damn, I got choices. And which I'm not sure that doesn't always happen for the year that you bring the album. But I immediately was going to bring Godsmack 4 because that was also a huge album for me in 2006. I fucking fell in love with Godsmack off that album. But I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, I'm not feeling that for this show. I'm really not, especially the other choices. I wanted to bring Cradle of Filth Pornography because in my beginning of college, that was a fucking huge album for me. That was my first full Cradle of Filth album that came out after I got into them. So I was hugely into that album. But somebody doesn't like Danny Filth. Danny Filth, I'll say.
Hey,
He
one
has
of
no
my
problem with
very
Cradle
good
Filth.
friends have a
He doesn't like Danny
lawsuit.
Filth personally.
Yeah, he's
A lot of music art. A lot of music artists are assholes, dude. You can't respect the art, not the artist. But as I always say in the show, and people have actually commented me on saying that in this show, but respect the art, not the fucking artist, because artists are assholes a lot of times because of what the art does to them. But I wanted to bring pornography, couldn't do. TJ was like, "Really? You're gonna bring that?" I'm like, "No, okay, I got other options." And I came across this album last actually. And I was like, "Fuck." I'm like, "All right." I actually was supposed to bring this on the show like a year or two ago. The episode never happened, so we never got to talk about it. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with the first Iron Maiden album that came out after I got into them, and it became. And I get a lot of shit for this from people who are metal fans. It's one of my top 3 Iron Maiden albums of all time. It really is. I decided to bring Iron Maiden's "A Matter of Life and Death." I used to listen to this album back in the day when you actually had the album in your car, which actually, do I have it? Because I actually just found all my albums the other day. I'm guessing it's not going to be in here because there's a lot more rap in here than I would have listened to in those days, and a lot more current albums than that one. No, I'm guessing it's not in here. But probably my big book of records, my big book of albums somewhere in the closet. But A Matter of Life and Death I used to listen to on the CD. Like, I burnt the shit out of that CD, like, listening to it. I had to copy it a couple times because I fucking kept, like, making it scratch and shit. But I used to listen to this album from start to finish constantly. It's honestly one of the best albums of all time to me, of any band. Like, it's one of the few albums I can listen to from start to finish and actually never skip a song. It's kind of a concept record in a way, but not really. It's just about war in general. So it's I I love it. It was my real introduction to Iron Maiden besides King Edward the Great, which had all their hits up to that point. So I mean, I love classic Iron Maiden from the 80s, 90s, but this album just blew me the fuck away. It's one of the best albums I think they did. I love Bruce on it. I love fucking everything about it. It's just every song has great lyrics. Every song has great guitar, drums. I mean, nothing about this album is ever wrong for me. And I'm honestly just happy I get to bring it on the show finally. I There are so many albums I could have brought from that year, but this album just stood out. I'm like, I need to finally talk about this shit. Like this was such a huge part of who I was for a long time. It changed my personality completely to listen to albums like this, and it just I haven't gone back. So a matter of life and death, folks. It's about fucking time I get to bring this on the show. The one after this, Final Frontier, will be on the show eventually because that's a fucking amazing album too. But it's another fucking front to back album I can do any day of the week. But this album, even listening to it a week ago, I was listening to it with my remote set at home, like with headphones on, and I was just like, oof. Actually, no, I was listening to. I didn't figure out that my headset could actually plug into my work computer at that point. So I was listening to it on my cell phone while I was working, and I was like, even on a cell phone, this fucking sounds incredible. So I fucking love it. But Jake, I know you said you had opinions about both albums, so I'm dying to hear what you thought about this album.
So fun fact, I have actually listened to both of the albums that we're going to talk about previously, and I have some interesting takes on them both. Starting with this one, I also am an Iron Maiden fan. This album for me, I can listen to it like from start to finish as well, but there's definitely some songs that are more hit than miss for me. I think every person who's an Iron Maiden fan will tell you this album is about as split amongst that fan base as you can be in terms of people who love and or hate it, as I understand it. Um, I was not into Iron Maiden when this album came out. I got into them a little bit like afterwards, and so specifically the reincarnation of Benjamin Freak, that song for me, and particularly the PR that they did for that with the album release, creating a website, to look for him with the fake cousin and everything, and essentially doing a viral push for the album before social media existed, knowing full well that their fan base would buy into it and do it for them. That, like, to me, blew my mind. And so one, I like that song, but two, the fact that Iron Maiden was so far ahead of the curve in terms of knowing how to essentially work their following to help them build and steamroll like promotion, I thought was incredible. The thing that I think will get me the most flack is at least in terms of my top five, like I don't include Different World. And I know that that's going to be an interesting take. But for me, I think that the album kind of stood on its own as a reputation for having long, heavy, more ambitious stuff. And I kind of felt that one was the most Iron Maiden generic of the bunch. And so, like, if I had to give you my other five,
that's actually not on my list either. I said that's not on my list either. So yeah, you're good on that with me. I felt like that was. I don't like the way. That's the one song where I really don't like the way Bruce does the chorus. So I mean, I get why. Like, I guess just he's trying too hard with that chorus. So I 100% get that. We'll definitely let you get to the top five in a minute. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, I just see that was the thing. Is like 2006 when you said you were in high school in 2006 when that when you wanted to bring My Chemical Romance. I was like, oh shit, he's the same age as me, like or close. And I'm like, and then you tell me your age, I'm like, fuck. No, we're a good 6 years apart. You were in fucking middle school when I was in high school, so yeah. But still, I mean, 2006 to me is defined by this album. I had a 45-minute drive back and forth to college every weekend, so I used to fucking blast this album every weekend on my way back and forth to college. But before we get into our top five, CJ, what do you think of this album?
I could give or take Maiden. I mean, I know who they are and what they stand for, yada yada yada, but I'm not really the biggest Maiden fan. They're one of them bands that they're just kind of there. You know, um, some songs I can appreciate more than others, but to say, have I ever actually sat and listened to an entire Iron Maiden record? This one, because it's literally the first time I've ever sat and actually listened to an Iron Maiden record. They're just one of them bands that I'm not blown away by. You know, I don't get the hype of them. Motorhead is another band that I respect Lemmy for who Lemmy was, but
Fucking heat.
I hear Motorhead and I'm just like, it's a bunch of noise. there's nothing about Motorhead that was that musical or that, you know, that made me want to listen to them other than they were just loud, you know, and that's again not really a thing to me. So this one had its moments, you know, it had a few songs that were decent that I would probably listen to again, but you know, that's if they came on. Somebody else would have to put them on. I wouldn't put them on, but if you know somebody else did, I'd probably listen.
See, I feel the same way about Motorhead. I'm not a huge Motorhead fan. I'm really not. I just can't get into them. I mean, they have some great fucking songs. Ace of Spades is one of the best songs of all time. Don't get me wrong, but Maiden just this. I mean, this is the second album of Maiden that got brought in the show. I think Power Slave was the other album, if I'm not mistaken. It had the pyramids on the cover. I know that. I think it was Power Slave, but Maiden has been really focused on this show at all. So this album I had to bring it on though. It's fucking matter of life and death. It's fucking it's just stories. I like concept records and I like fucking stories and songs, and Iron Maiden excels at that. I can't hear fucking Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter or Run to the Hills without getting a little bit of a chub. So, you know, it's just the way it goes. Like Maiden had a huge part in my life. When I was getting into metal, VH1 used to do those countdowns back in the day of like the top 50 metal songs of all time, blah blah blah, top 50 headbanging songs of all time. Maiden always had a few songs in there. Like so, I used to fucking that got me into Maiden huge back in the day in high school. But as far as top five, so I tried to I tried not to remember the whole album. So I have one honorable mention, and that is The Pilgrim. I think it's a great story song. I think it's a really good fucking everything. I've tried on all these songs. Some of them are fucking incredible, so I'm not gonna keep saying that. But The Pilgrim's a really good story song. My number 5 was For the Greater Good of God. Because I am a huge, as anybody who knows me and knows my podcast knows, I'm a huge hater of organized religion and a huge skeptic of religion in general. So, For the Greater Good of God I mean, Iron Maiden hits on religion a lot, and the fact that they actually would write, He gave us life for us, He fell upon the cross for all those who would never mourn His loss. Like, it's kind of funny in a way. It's kind of funny in the way Bruce does things. So I fucking love it. My number 4 was These Colors Don't Run. Like, if you're ever about to be in a fight or in a hard situation, that song will pump you the fuck up. Like, these colors don't run for cold bloody war. Like that's fucking metal ass lyrics. Because once again, it's just like Maiden has these songs that will like make you want to fight somebody, and Out of the Shadows does that for me as well. 2 is 100,000 Suns, because I always felt like it should be a Superman theme song. To me, it should be like they should have a Superman movie and have that as like the fucking theme of it. But my number 1, and you brought this up earlier, Jake, but my number 1, Bringing the Bend Brig, is just oof. I love a good story song, and that one's like 8-9 minutes long. It's fucking perfect. It's fucking perfect. And like at the end of the song, we talk about Bedroom Brig Go, and like the way he fucking like sings that last note on Hell for like a minute straight, just fucking gives me chills. Like Bruce Dickinson's one of the greatest singers of all time, in my opinion, and I fucking love the way he hits that note. Like there are so many songs where he just can hit everything perfectly, and people don't respect him enough. Like I feel he should be on the list with he's not Freddie Mercury, but he should be on the list with Freddie Mercury at some point. He's got a great voice. He always has. Even as he's getting older now, his voice is still fucking prime. So I gotta get that. I mean, how could anybody not respect Iron Maiden? They have their own fucking shit, for God's sake. So they've been around forever. They're like the Rolling Stones. They're one of those bands that's never gonna fucking die until they actually literally die one day in the possible near future, but hopefully far away future. I'd love a couple more albums. Just saying. I haven't got a chance to listen to the last one, the Japanese theme one. I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet, but I would love them to be around for a couple more albums still. But Jake, what would be your top songs of this album?
So number 5, I picked These Colors Don't Run. I like the song. I like the composition. The way I approach any album when I'm listening to it is to take my own biases aside about the artist or the band or any perceived notions and judge based strictly on the songs that are put in front of me. The composition, the lyrics, the length, where it's placed. Do I see what they're going for? Is this outside of what they're attempting to do? And so for that reason, I thought that the song, it was, pretty much classic Maiden, right? So I thought it was fine. Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg, I put on there very specifically because it's dark, it's hooky, it's long, but more importantly, it became, like I said, the entire PR push for the album was around that song. And I think that was a really inventive way to do something. Number 3, I had Brighter Than a Thousand Suns.
See, that's.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that. See, the viral push thing, I never knew about any of that. I never knew about the viral push at all.
So fun fact.
I literally happen to be. Oh, please! I want to hear about this.
Well, so you imagine we're a fan, but what they did was they opened up a website run by the cousin of a missing artist named Benjamin Brieg, begging for help finding him. Full fake biography, like orphan, occult obsession, vanished in 1978, paintings, disturbing the whole lot, right? And they launched it as a viral campaign to eventually essentially find this guy, and they were going to have a meeting. Everyone was going to show up at a meeting to discuss it and find him. And the time the meeting was set was the day that the album released. And the person who, the one surviving painting that actually made it through the website, if you know who Iron Maiden's mascot is, Eddie, that's who they picked for the painting. So in their own kind of a way, they trolled their fan base essentially into promoting the album for them, which I thought was an interesting way to do it. But more, number 3, I'll make it quicker than that, which is Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. I think is a very interesting song. I like that it's a nod to Oppenheimer. I like that it's a nod to basically humanity learning how to take themselves off the face of the earth. I like that, they found a way to do that. The song itself, like this entire album, long songs for me can sometimes be exactly that, right? Really, really, really long songs. And so, number 2, The Longest Day, I just liked it. It's a war song on a war album, right? And I'm a Sabaton fan, so that should be self-explanatory. And my number 1 was For the Greater Good of God. I thought that kind of basically took the entire thesis of the album in one song. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, compared to an album I said listen to on Tuesday for the show we were supposed to do, the whole album I listened to on Tuesday for the show we were supposed to do, the guest is bringing, that song is even more ironic now than ever. But, yeah, I mean, Longest Day, I would have put that on my list, but I was trying to keep it short. But Longest Day is an amazing fucking song. I mean, Iron Maiden's Iron Maiden. What are you going to do? Their songs are always fucking incredible. But, see, I just happened to come across I was in FYE one day and I just saw this album on the new releases rack. So I grabbed it. I was like, Iron Maiden put out a new album? What? I thought they were done when I got the greatest hits. I thought they were done already recording a new shit. So I was fucking that psyched little 18-year-old fucking grabbed that shit. But DJ, do you have any top songs on this album?
So I have almost the exact list that Jake had. Number 4, As Long as They. Then Brighter Than a Thousand Suns, Benjamin Brigg. And my top is For the Greater Good. So. You motherfucker. Why are you being a dickhead?
Yeah, shit. Well, it may not be the last main song that I ever bring on the show, for fuck's sake, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I fucking love this fucking album. But that means, folks, it's time to jump into CJ's album. What album did you want to bring tonight, CJ?
So I brought an album by a band that is no longer together. They are good friends of mine from the East Lansing area. They were a band called Wilson, and they are fucking hysterical. They were one of the most obnoxiously underrated bands. And the first record was called Full Blast Buckery. Then they had Right to Rise. But I chose the third one, which is called Tasty Nasty, because it was a direction shift for them. It was the last one they did before they broke up. And it has a song on it that we all sat around one night getting drunk, and jokingly, when I told the singer Chad that I was starting a studio, he said every studio has to have a name. And I was like, I don't have a name for my studio. So he showed up at my house 4 days later with this wonderful plaque for my studio called The House of Fuckery. So I get to think about these guys pretty much every day when I look at my wall and see my very cool Wilson mirror on it. But it's a band called Wilson. The record is called Tasty Nasty, and it's a killer record.
Well, before I give my review of it, Jake, what do you think?
So I have a lot of friends who go to Michigan State. I have had many parties at Michigan State. Go green, go white. The Spartans just gave my hockey team the greatest player of all time in Florida Martone. So we have a lot of love for East Lansing right now here in the Philadelphia area. I do know who this band is. I listened to them a lot as well. And when I saw that this was on there, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. So when CJ just pulled out the House of Fuckery, I was like, okay, well that's great. The album for me, so they knew this was going to be their last album, as I understand it, and they wrote it in such a way to do it in and I can only describe it, and they wrote it in the way that only they could, to say goodbye in such a way that only they could, knowing full damn well that this was how they wanted to do it. Like ending very specifically with everyone gets around on me is so very aware of the situation that you just have to understand like them as a band to grasp just how inside the joke like this was, because they had to sit down and like think about that and decide, yeah, let's cheers to the good times. This is great. And so the album for me, like it's a mashup of things, right? It's kind of exactly everything Wilson was during their entire career, which is everything and nothing all at once. And it's perfect for them. Like it really was. For me, I could throw this album on while I'm working out. I can throw this album on while I'm playing esports. I can throw this album on, and yeah, I might skip a song here and there, but like, Act My Age is very much shades of What's My Age Again from Blink-182. Like they knew what they wanted to accomplish in this album, and they did it in 37 minutes. That is not an easy task. So like, I loved it. Always have.
Sorry, I have to hang my bear back up.
See, I went into this, and I never heard of fucking Wilson. I was honestly
Most
thinking
people
Nelson
have
for
it.
a hot second, but I went into this and I'm like, I'm like, the neighbor from Home Improvement had a band. I'm like, that would make sense for the album. Like, this way, he never wanted to show his face. But I fucking from this album, I definitely would think I would thought right away. I'm like, okay, they're like a party rock band, like kind of like Electric Callboy. They're kind of like, to me, like a rock version of Electric Callboy. Like, they're kind of like a rock version of Electric Callboy, where the songs are just for fun. Like, and I never heard any of their previous stuff, so they may have done more serious stuff before this, but it seems to me like that's what they are, like a rock version of Electric Callboy. And
their first record was called Full Blast Fuckery.
I mean,
so
they're a band that didn't take themselves seriously. That's exactly what they were.
It's funny because
the entire band was an inside joke. Like, Jake was referring to, like, everything about the band was sort of an inside joke between themselves. So,
I mean, to me, they party band. They seem like a party band. They seem like a band you put on when you're fucking drinking with friends and you just want to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I totally get that. I totally respect that. The songs weren't horrible. I managed to get a did I get 5? Yeah, I managed to get 5 out. I mean, they're fun songs. I enjoyed a lot of them. I can't say this is the album I would actually put on and listen to the whole thing again. No, fuck no. But the ones I added to my Spotify like list, yeah, if they come on in the car, depending what mood I'm in, or if I had a few, I may listen to them again. But I mean, it's just, to me, it's kind of a throwaway album. It's just like, all right, these guys are just having fun. Like, if this come on a bar, I would enjoy it. Am I ever going to take it actually, like, as serious as I take a lot of albums? Then no. I mean, they aren't no Queen. They ain't nothing like that. Which seems to be a theme tonight. We keep bringing up Queen, so I'll keep it with that theme. They're not a band that would go listen to an album and be like, this is good. This is good, culturally sound, fucking music. This sound amazing. No, it's a party band. It's a fucking, they play at bars while you're getting drunk. That type of band. That's what I see them as in this album. So, did I enjoy it? Oh, fuck yes. I mean, I never heard anybody use the term fuckery until I met CJ. So, the fact that they actually had a song called House of Fuckery, I'm like, oh, this is so CJ. I'm like, this is so CJ. But yeah, I mean, they're a fun band. I love this album. Not really. Did I like it? Yeah, I liked it enough that the studio came on. If a few of the songs came on again while I'm driving, yeah, I'd keep playing. But other than that, I can't say it's a band I really go back to or go follow and listen to everything they've ever done. They don't impress me like a lot of bands that CJ has brought on in the past that much. But what are your top 5, CJ?
Like a Baller is number 5. That was actually written about a parking valet that worked with one of the guys. Act My Age is number 4. A Dump Truck. Exactly what the song talked about. Just it was their version of Sir Mix-a-Lot, basically. Number 2 is Fuck Up My High. But number 1 is House of Fuckery, because it just, 1, it's what I call my studio, and 2, it's got the most singable, we all live in a house fuckery. But I mean, it's a cool song. The way he sings it, I got a cousin. But that's my top 5.
And Jake, what are your top songs of this?
All right, so this is going to be interesting for me, and very interesting take. But I actually left Like a Baller off of my top 5, and here's the reason why. Personally, I really like the song, but if you listen to the album a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, an eighth, and ninth, 10th time, you kind of gets lost in all of the other songs. It's like you've heard it. It's kind of, then for that reason,
yeah,
like I left it as an honorable mention. But 5 through 1, and 1 and 2 are going to probably make people have some feelings. But I liked Everyone Gets Around on Me at number 5. I think that you have to understand Wilson as a band. Like, people will tell them they're a party band or they're a drinking band or they're this, but the reality is that it was an inside joke and their fans were in on it. Like, that's the thing. Like, when they announced this album as, we're doing a hip hop influenced new direction, and everyone said, "Oh my God, this is gonna be a train wreck." And like, it wasn't. It was exactly what they wanted to do. And so for them to sit down, to write that song, to be able to get through it, and not a lot of bands can kind of choose how they say goodbye, or how, for that matter. And that, to me, I thought was, as a musician, something I genuinely appreciated. So that was my number 5. Number 4 is Fuck Up My High. That is, to me, one of the more emotional songs, right? Like, it's there. As someone who DJs as well, like, I am responsible for ensuring people's highs don't get fucked up. So I resonated with the song a little bit, being like, yeah, I know what happens when that. So like, I like that. Number 3, House of Fuckery. That's like peak Wilson. That's a carryover from albums 1 and 2. That's just like them, kind of what I like to call, it's like an artist's like signature calling card. There's always a song almost on every single album that kind of like a safe fallback, that if everything else implodes, like there's at least one thing that the band can say, okay, well, this is what they're known for. I felt that was their version of it. I have Dump Truck as number 2. It's the thesis of the entire album. Again, for me, like, you can't really talk about this album about it. And I actually listed Spanish Coffee as my favorite song on the album. I think that it's the single most interesting 2 minutes that the band ever put on an album, quite frankly. And for that reason, I listed it as number 1.
All right, and I had something I fucking just lost it. Okay, yeah, I lost it completely. Well, actually, okay, no, I was gonna say, you know what's funny? My 1-year-old loves the fucking Wiggles, and I'm a huge fan of the Wiggles now too because of that. I have watched more Wiggles than I could ever think I ever would in my life before 2 years ago. So, the Wiggles have a band that is not the Wiggles that they do like at nightclubs and shit in Australia at dark. And the funny thing is, this band reminded me more than anything of that band that the Wiggles do after dark. Which, for those who don't know, my wife pointed out to me a while ago, Captain Feathersword hung like a fucking moose. So, yeah. But interesting fact about the Wiggles: Captain Feathersword and Anthony. Captain Feathersword and Anthony are both hung like mooses. So yeah, or horses, however you want to put it. But my wife pointed out to me at one point, and now I can't see it every time I watch the Wiggles. But for this album, Like a Baller was number 5. It was they wanted to do a hip hop themed album. They 100% nailed it. Like a Baller is an amazing song. Money, Money, Money was a fucking fun ass song, so I enjoyed the shit out of it. My number 3 was Summertime Treat, Casey Nasty. That was a fun fucking song. Almost kind of remind me of Cottonmouth Kings did Rock. But my number 2 is My Hustle. That was a fucking... You know what actually it kept making me think of John Cena. I don't know why. I mean, maybe the hustle, loyalty, respect thing, but it kept making me think of John Cena.
John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I knew it. I had to do it at least once.
Dude, that was so me back in the 2010s. My last time I watched wrestling when the Rock and Cena were facing WrestleMania. That was totally me. But my number 1 for this album has to be, and I 100% thought CJ when I heard this. My number 1 is House of Fuckery. Because it made me think of CJ immediately. I'm like, that's where he got fuckery from? I never heard that word until I fucking met him. So that's where he got it from. So
that in the first record was full blast fuckery. So. But yeah.
So one thing I did want to point out, Jeremy, if it's okay, that I thought,
of course.
Like, it dawned on me as I was listening to all of these albums, is that there was, as weird as these albums may seem on the surface from each other, a connecting through line of all 3 of them, which is these are 3 albums about how to face the end. MZR, is telling you about someone who is dying essentially and how they are terminally ill and how they're going about facing the end. Maiden's album is all about the systems that kill people, and Wilson's album is just a party that's just going to go until everybody drops. And so there is a connecting through line of 3 different ways to stare down the end. And I thought that was a really interesting way to connect 3 albums that normally you would never say have any type of connection, but there is that kind of through line through all of them.
And the fact that 2 of them came out in 2006.
A month apart, actually.
They're just amazing. And thank you. You gave a theme. Yeah, and yeah, 'cause I think Maine came out in like October, November, and I'm sure My Chemical Romance did the same thing because that's a huge release. That's a huge release. October. Well, Third October came out in October as well, but which, actually, Third kind of album about the end. Well, with that, Jake, are you a fan of Cradle of Filth or no?
Of which one?
Cradle of Filth.
I am not, but I imagine I'm going to be soon. I don't know. I have to look it up.
Are you? Oh, Christ, mate! This heat's fucking my internet up so bad.
It's all good.
Cradle of Filth. Are you a fan of them?
I am not, but I'm gonna have to look into that. Like I don't know enough about them yet, so.
No. Fuck that, dude. It's fucking 90 degrees. It's 67 degrees out right now. No, it's fucking not. It's out right now. But
he normally never has.
Jake, if you answered that, I didn't hear a word.
No, you're cutting in and out on me, but that's okay.
You're frozen on our end.
I'm ready tomorrow. No. I said me.
I got nothing.
Goddamn fucking heat.
Yeah, it's been brutal. That I got that part. I got the heat part. It has been brutal. The heat has been bad.
But it's fucking with my internet. Like it's making my Wi-Fi while I hear port. But okay, see, CJ, don't. I keep seeing you moving.
I can like do the wave, like like he's doing like the Pearl Jam concert. From what I understand, was a thing.
Are we back? Are we back?
I think we got you.
We can hear you, but you're frozen.
Are we back? Are you actually hearing me with real time?
I am. Yeah. Yes.
Fucking. Jesus Christ.
There you go.
All right. Well. Yeah, I know the fucking heat's killing my Wi-Fi. Fucking heat's killing my Wi-Fi. But Jake, are you a fan of Cradle of Filth? If you answered that already, I didn't fucking hear a word of it. So that's why I'm asking.
I have not had a chance to be experienced to them yet, so I assume I will need to do that.
Dude, they've been around for like 30 years. You definitely need to experience Cradle of Filth. It might feel when you were a kid, I would have felt all your angry emotions. But
yeah, I was an angsty kid. What can I say?
It would have. Oh, dude, you would have loved them as a teenager. I'm pretty damn sure. But I did, and I still love them to this day. But when I was a teenager, they were my fucking gods. But especially Danny. But recent things have come out about him that fucking I can't love him as much as I used to. But I still love the band because they're fucking incredible. But folks, we brought you your albums thrice for tonight, and we thank you for tuning in. Jake, we want to thank you for coming on. It's been a fucking pleasure to have you, brother. Where can they find you and your music?
DJ Jake Maxwell on SoundCloud. I think it's pretty much DJ Jake Maxwell on most things. Reach out. I'm pretty approachable. music's kind of one of my autism things, that in sports. So if you reach out, odds are you're gonna get like way more info about albums if you send them to me than you wanted to. But like this is the type of stuff that I like to nerd out about because it helps me just learn and experience things through other people's eyes. And that's like what music's all about at the end of the day. It's seeing the joy in like the album that CJ brought and how excited he got and how much the Iron Maiden album meant to you and seeing the joy that it brought you, right? Like they may not always be my jam, but getting to experience it through someone else's eyes, that's why I love music. So
And we'll
I guess
we'll
yours
definitely have you
maybe.
back on again.
I'd
We'll
love
definitely
to.
have you back on again. I got you on Instagram, so I can reach out to you anytime now and fucking get you back on. We're booked out. We actually filled up till September as of this week. So we're people hear the show and they want to be on. What can I say? But I appreciate that immensely. But CJ, where can they find you?
I am everywhere on the Fachi book, the TikTok, all streaming services. If you want to hear the debut record, which is called Neon Exodus, it is a sci-fi synthwave concept record about Earth burning up and escape to the new planet. You can find that, or coming up July 10th is the official release of the punk record. It's a ska punk record called Love Songs for the Mentally Impaired. It is me pissing in your Wheaties, pissing up your leg, down your back, and pretty much on anything in your house. First single, hashtag fuck you. But due to a recent event, there will be a simultaneous second single. We wrote a brand new song at the very tail end of this because somebody made a comment about my daughter and it pissed me off and lit a fire under my ass. And the second single is Rainbows and Middle Fingers. It is a song about everything you think it is. It's a father's response and defense of someone calling his lesbian daughter broken.
Yeah, well, first off, fuck that person. I hope that they have a horrible time.
Yeah, so it pissed me off because truthfully, I would rather you just use the F word or something than to refer to my 5'2" former Marine daughter as broken. It just, but anyways, both singles will come out along with the record. I would love everyone's support on the second one because it's a subject I've kind of never taken a stance on personally because I'm not part of the community and it was one of them things where you do what you do. But now I'm going to make it a fucking point to be part of the community. So this song is for every child who has ever come out and never had the support they deserved, for every parent who hasn't accepted their child, it's a fuck you to you. And for every parent who has accepted their child, this is from your viewpoint of saying, as long as I'm alive, you will always be enough.
CJ, do you have the stems? Because I'll make a
Exactly.
remix of it if you have the stems. I'll make a
do.
remix of the song.
I have everything.
We'll connect afterwards. I'll remix the song for you.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'll share. I'll just say I'll share his Instagram with you, CJ.
yeah, and there's a video. If you go on YouTube, look up Music God CJ playing. I did sort of a very poorly done visualizer video. I'm not great at doing videos, but you can look up the video. You can't miss it because there's a logo of a punk with a sign, holding a sign that says "Rainbows are fucking beautiful." and that's going to be my next tattoo. So, anywho, you can find me everywhere. Music God CJ Playing, or just CJ Playing on streaming services if you're looking for the music. But please support this song. If you don't support
folks,
anything else I do, support this single to your friends, your family, because, like I said, I'm leaning into this one. I will be at Pride parades with T-shirts. I will be, if you remember that free hugs guy, that's going to be me going forward. So, that's
Sorry.
that's my speech for the day.
And folks, if I think this episode drop, oh, it's all good, dude. Oh. I think I'm pretty decent.
I think we lost them again.
Oh, you have it now.
There he is.
We talk about it. Fuck me. All right, there it is. Folks, if you haven't heard by now, we talk about Neon Exodus on the episode that was released July 10th. So, in that though, you can check out your maniacal music musers. On Facebook is Squatchy Large. On X and the Gram is at Juggalo Bastard, and of course on YouTube.
For those interested, that's
YouTube as maniacal music musings. See everything done. 3+ points on YouTube. Everything is there. Once fucking freezing. But once more, we'll thank Jake for coming on. The audio hopefully call it. But we'll thank Jake on and catch us next week, folks. Until then, have a good one, everybody. Peace.
there you go. Cool.
I presume we are off the air at this point.
Yes.